It's the little preview box for the moment. I need to get the bot set up and get ready for the vertical stream. Come on. Do the thing. I think we almost have the vertical stream set up here. It'd just be a few more moments while I get the stuff together. Yeah. Cool. We're almost ready to start. We got the bot thing is working, apparently.
Bot is botting?
Bot is botching. I don't know why, but I have this feeling of stage fright all of a sudden.
4, 3.
No pressure. Hello, this is Kevin, also known as AWOL, and we're back with the Granny Square bag again. I'm hoping to get a bunch accomplished here tonight, but we'll see how that goes. Yeah, it should be pretty good. I kind of getting into a rhythm with this thing. I am joined tonight by my lovely wife Mandy, and yeah, I actually finished the last square on this, so that way I would be able to do some photos and get that out there and show off what I've been working on. And somehow I managed to not do that at all. I don't like I'll show you one of the things I was working on though. I have these little totes. These are much smaller than the normal tote sizes. And each one of these totes holds enough to do one row around this thing. So that if you're wondering like how much string am I using? I'm using this much string for every row. We've got what 1, 2, 3, 4 rows in so far. So yeah, that's a lot of string. But I managed to get this box filled up and I got this box. So there's 2 of them all loaded and ready to go. That's enough to do 2 more rows on this bag, and that'll take us into the home stretch. I will still need to do 2 more squares, but I'm indecisive. Am I going to actually just make it another diamond of the same colors that was before, or do I go to the trouble of actually swapping it out? I kind of feel like not swapping it out is kind of lazy. So yeah, I guess I'm probably going to have to cut up just a little bit more string to make this thing work. But yeah, that's where we are so far. So yeah, I did get, some kind of progress or something done here, even if I didn't do the photos. All right, so before the stream started, I was looking over the colors and already came up with the idea of what I was going to do with this one here. So this is going to be a green diamond taking the place of this red one. I think what got me kind of worked up was the notion that like I want to get so much done, and I like arbitrarily putting more pressure on myself than I need. There's no rule that I'm supposed to get halfway done tonight or anything. So yeah. Right there. It's the last Women's Day. They're not going to have any more. I thought every day was Women's Day. Ah, come on, why? Pea biscuit in here. Yeah. Well, it's just what. Right on. Doing things with cards kind of reminds me. My sister, when I was growing up, got into this thing where she would buy like a half dozen of these cards, and they were like little chipmunks, like chipmunks riding leaves like sleds down a snowy hill, and she was cutting it out and then putting this weird kind of glue down and then putting another piece on top of it, and then like whatever areas she wanted raised, you know, how many of her layers of this stuff to make it actually work. And yeah, it was pretty cool, pretty neat stuff. Hey, Rara. Okay, so now, so it's a light green is on the outside, and now it's a dark green on the inside. So it feels good to be actually playing with string. I don't know if you guys know this, but I deliberately don't do any bracelet related stuff on Saturdays before the stream. So that way I don't have any reason why my wrists or hands or anything hurt. Because, you know, if I spend too much time at it, yeah, I can end up kind of achy or whatever. So Saturdays, I deliberately don't do anything until after. And today's been a little bit stressful, and it feels good to have the string again. I'm in the process of making stuff for a class where I'm going to be teaching people. I don't know necessarily what the age of the group is, but I'm imagining that they are in fact older than me, which I'm no spring chicken. Kind of newsflash, right? But yeah, so a class of nodding for older people where they've never done it before. They've never even shown interest necessarily in this type of thing before. And I'm supposed to be teaching a class to give them something to do. So I'm trying to make visual images and things that show, you know, after when I'm not there, they can have reference guides and things to look at to help remind them of what I was trying to explain, how this whole thing works. And I come to realize, like, my channel really is for people who are not exactly beginners, because my ability to try to explain how everything works, you know, at that kind of level of a beginner is really not very good. I really just assume everybody knows how to do left and right knots. After that, you know, then I'm pretty good at like going on, but like getting those first bits done, yeah. And the fact that I'll be teaching up to 10 people at a time also kind of has me a little bit like, that doesn't sound very easy. I think the last time I tried to teach some older people how to do it, I think there was maybe 4 people who had interest. So a bigger class might not be as easy. Who knows? Maybe there's only going to be 4 or 5 people who actually take on the interest with this. The person who's basically like helping me get into all of this and wants me to do this to help, so these people don't just sit around and gossip, which is apparently what their current activities pretty much consist of. They're drinking coffee and gossiping. So this is supposed to be the alternative to gossiping, I guess.
Who says to come tie knots and gossip?
I know, right? Once they get the hang of it, oh man, they're going to gossip about the people who don't tie knots. Yeah, kind of, yeah. So yeah, it's going to be a a fairly interesting endeavor. It starts next month, and it is going to possibly alter my normal schedule of doing things because it's like Tuesdays, right? Am I right, honey? Was it Tuesday?
I think so.
Yeah. So Tuesdays, which is normally a day where I stream, I will be getting up early and going off and doing the classroom thing. Oh, it's Bitch and Betty. Hello. That name always reminds me of the Bitch and Camaro. A song, I don't remember who sings it. Hilarious song, though. Yeah. Let me know who sang that because I'm really curious now. There's a version of it where he tells his friend that he got his bitchin' Camaro from the Bahamas. His parents drove it back from the Bahamas, and the guy's like, "Really?" And the guy's like, "No, dude. Like Bahamas are an island, obviously." So then, yeah, it's kind of like a punkish rock thing. It's pretty cool. Dead Milkman, there you go. Yep. See, I knew it was punk. Man. Bringing back some of those old time memories there. So the grades are getting short, but I felt like they're too long to like just replace them yet. But they will get replaced here sometime soon. Maybe as it comes down. I as a matter of prepping, I'll show you guys here in a second. I also cut up a lot of grades. So I cut up like this. It took me like pretty much all day. Oops. Almost had the red one on there. Like spending a whole day just cutting string feels like so unproductive. But then when it comes time to actually do the work, it's like, heck yeah, at least I don't have to cut the string. So on top of these bins, I also have this little bin that's full of gray string. So that way I didn't know how many I would need. So I cut up 8 skeins, I think. 8 or 10. I don't remember. I don't know why I chose an even number too. It didn't need to be. But yeah. All right. So there's one done. I think I'm going to rotate it and do the blue over here. Again, I've got all these little bobbins. Hang on. Oh, I get trivial thing here. This is kind of neat. So a lot of us that have done bracelets for a while are familiar with these little bobbins, and they have been around for as long as I can remember. Like, they were a thing, right? Well, it turns out there was a string manufacturer who used to sell the string already wound on one of these, and then the little piece of paper came up and had their branding and stuff on it, and it had a perforated edge along here where you could take off that bit and it would still tell you what the color of the string was, and you had these little bobbins. So all of the totes that are made to this size all owe thanks to that company who actually used to actually have it already pre-wound onto these bobbins. And I don't know how much money is saved by not doing it that way, but oh my God, if I could buy my string already pre-wound where I wouldn't have to worry about it like getting all tangled up and then my strings in a bunch, I would to me, it would be worth a few extra cents per skein, which I know adds up, but it would be so worth it to be able to like not have that extra hassle of, trying to stretch out the string and measure it, into the whatevers. It would just be so much easier. Mind you, I don't know what year that they were doing that. I was given some string from somebody who it was like their grandmother's had a bunch of string and they didn't know what to do with it and wanted to know if anybody wanted it. And I said, absolutely. I use a lot of embroidery floss. I would absolutely take on this string. And one of them was an unused skein on the bobbin. And I just thought that was the coolest stuff ever. Mind you, what I ended up doing with that, which I thought was kind of cool, was I made as many bracelets as I could out of that pile of floss and then sent them back to her as, this was from your grandmother and you can share this amongst your family. And yeah, that turned out pretty cool. All right, so this is the next group here. And then I'm going to go into this area so I can move all the rest of the strings off to the side. So now we have a green on this side. We have oranges here and a blue here. So I need to find a color that isn't green, orange, or blue to be the next square down. I could do this red, but that's kind of dark. I like this yellow to orange, but it's too close to this. Oh, this one's nice. This is sort of cool. Kind of like shades of a grayish. Yeah, we'll do that one. Oh, no, you know what? I think this pink will go better. Yeah, so I have to keep making executive decisions. One of my least favorite parts of making anything is having to, decide which color here. And like, it's kind of why I like making just bracelets, because I can like pick 6 colors or 12 colors or whatever it is, and then try it out. And then like, if I'm, not great, I can do it again with other colors. And I like that kind of ability to try all the different things. But this is crazy. This is just so much string, so many different colors. There's a couple where I'm like, I didn't quite like how, like, this has got pink and then this with the pink right next to it. Like, could have been different. Of course, I still think this is a kiwi square. So hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing when it comes to like swapping out colors for stuff here. I'm trying to make this like really visible for you. I think I'm about as zoomed in as I comfortably can with that camera. Of course, I can't stream at a higher quality than it already is without having it have a lot of lag time. So right now, the latency is like really minimal. So that's kind of cool. Oh, I grabbed the wrong color. Hang on. I started with the pinks, and I'm like, okay, cool. Get to the next one, and I grabbed from the gray, which was my first thought. Like, don't want to mix those. All right. Hang on a second while I gotta wind this back up. All right. So the most inner one is the darkest, kind of a dusty rose. There we go. All right, so now the middle one is more or less a slightly darker pink. Why? There we go. So it's a really short space where all the colors get replaced. It's really just a very few rows. But yeah. It's funny to me because out of the pictures that I've showed off like so far, only a few people have actually realized that the color changing thing is something that is different, unusual about like bracelet work. And those few people who have picked up on it are like, whoa, wait a second. What the heck are you doing here? Like, because it's so not what normally gets done. And yeah, I kind of get a kick out of those people. Those are my favorite people. Ones who are like, hang on, that's not right.
Those are your favorite people.
What's that? Because they're curious. They know that they know enough about bracelets to kind of do stuff, but they're like, they haven't quite gotten to this level yet.
So I was your favorite people.
Oh, you are my favorite. You're my absolute favoritist. And I'm pretty sure that you know that this is not average bracelet work. In fact, you probably know how much it makes me insane. All right, so now trading off the dark blue for this light pink. So one of the things that's going to make this next square, I think, really work out is the fact that this was dark to light and the next one is light to dark. So it actually kind of goes in the opposite direction, which I think is going to definitely give it the contrast that just makes these squares just pop a little bit more. So there's the first one. And now the pink for the dark blue that I'm working with. So basically, if you're wondering how I'm getting this on there, is I'm doubling up the string and I loop it so that way this loop goes over top of the string that I'm making the knot over, and then it gets sandwiched in between the two knots. And this makes it so that way no matter how hard you pull on the string, it can't come out because it's looped around the inner string here. So it's not just like in there, just lying there. It's actually in there, like really, really secure. Okay, so this is the lightest color, which means it's the furthest one in. So that's going to get the dusty rose. So it takes me just a moment there to unwind the string off of the little bobbins and then get them into position so that I can tie my knot. Oh. One of my bobbins just went flying to the floor. I'll get that in a moment here. Okay, so yep. I have to do it off to the side because this is at a slant. So if I did it over top of the desk, it would go flying to the floor. And yeah, I think I could mess them up if they get caught underneath the wheels of my chair or something. So. There we go. Whoops. Almost got the gray in there with it. So no, the dark blue does not have to get tied anymore. There's plenty of that pink getting replaced underneath the dark blue, where I can actually cut off those strings now. And you might notice I'm like really kind of putting an extra little oomph in the how I'm tying these knots. I'm just trying to pull the knots so that way they're so tight that it makes that extra string in there sort of disappear. And that's why it just looks like a normal bracelet, despite the fact that there's so many extra colors going on. All right. Got my little bobbin. Let me put these other ones up. So obviously the bobbins that I have are not the little cardboard ones, because the cardboard ones don't last very long. They get all bent out of shape and kind of ruined. Although once upon a time, back in the 80s, I had a lot of the cardboard ones. I don't know where they came from. I think somebody just kind of saw that I was into string and kind of gave them to me. Thought that would help, and it did. It was great. But now I have these plastic ones, and I've had them for many, many years, and they just work really well. So now that I've finished these two squares, getting these changed up, I can work the middle part here and bring this down. So in case anybody's interested, tomorrow is the member stream. So the first Sunday of the month, which tomorrow is the first one, we do a hangout where everybody can come over and join on Discord and talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. I'll probably be working on some of the stuff for the classes I was talking about earlier. So, you know, if you're kind of curious as to what I'm making and for the class and all that, yeah, we can talk about that. Show off your projects that you guys are working on. It's just kind of a cool little thing where we can hang out. And yeah, so that's just for YouTube members. If you're not already a member, it's pretty easy. Down by the subscribe button, there's a button that says join. And then, yeah, it's like $5 a month. Well, it's $5 Singaporean. I think that's $4 in the USA. So pretty affordable. Sweet. I'm like, how did that happen? I did not realize that my wife had triggered the thing, but that was awesome though. Good timing. Oh, and to the many people who are watching via the vertical stream, there is a horizontal stream which allows you to see a little bit more of what I'm working on. At this, you know, like it goes out wider, so you're just getting the skinny version. The link is in the description if you're inclined. Cool. Now, oh man, it reminds me I haven't had a Hershey pie in a long time. So after the strings have been kind of ran underneath everything for a little bit, they get dropped, and then when I come back through, I can cut them all off. Like, so this dark red one is no more. So now I go, this string goes over the pink and the green. And then the next one, I drop the pink and only go over the green. And so that way that pink can get chopped off as well. So this one turns off to the side, so I have to take it off in the next string over here. So pink drops down. And this string goes over top of just the green. So now I have these 3 pinks to cut. And I have to use all kinds of caution to not accidentally get any of the other strings, because that would be seriously detrimental to the whole project. So the funny thing is, the original pattern for this was just a regular plain old bracelet. I had some kind of, I think I did it with like light colors and pinks and stuff, and it turned out really pretty. It was, and I kind of noticed it was a little bit like a snowflake and had some other things. But the thing that reminded me the most was a granny square. And then I kind of realized in that moment that granny square is a kind of a neat thing where, you know, people use their scrap string rings, make the little squares, and then join it all together. And I realized, of course, that there was no way where I was going to be able to like make the squares separately and join them. So I started kind of working out how would I be able to pull this look off in a bracelet, and or in a bag rather. And I kind of have to say, I think I really nailed it for the vision. Hey, Rocky D. Cock. Cool. Thank you for the sub. But yeah, I think I really kind of nailed the look that I was trying to go for. Like it looks like it was made with strap string, but the reality is it's far from. Like these are all like blowing through what each diamond is 1 2/3. No, more. 2/3. What's 2/3 and 2/3? 1 1/3. So 2
Yep.
and 2 1/3 skeins per diamond. Because the color that goes for the outside, that's a full skein, and then it's 2/3 of each of the other colors. It's a lot of string. Mind you, the other third that doesn't get used on those 2 colors goes off into a bin that I can use for future projects, so they don't get wasted or anything. But yeah. That's like, I think the first time that the subscribe pop-up has worked in a long time. I typically notice that we get subs during the live streams and stuff. That's the first time that the pop-up has actually worked in a while. That's kind of neat. Yeah, it's definitely not working right. We've had 3 subscribers and only 1 got a kudos. Okay, so the blue goes away. This is on the red. So I think what's going to happen is when this bag gets done, which will be a couple weeks maybe, when this gets done, I think I'm going to go back to working on the spats again, which are going to feel a whole lot easier. Remember how I was kind of dreading those because there was so much string that I had? Yeah, after this, those are going to feel pretty easy. We'll work on those for a little bit while I get it worked out with the amount of string that I need to work on. We need a name for it. What? I don't. It looks like a bunch of Y's coming together and overlapping and looking cool. And I don't want to say that it looks like some designer bags because I don't want the designer people being like, hey, that's our stuff. But I think that's my next big project. I have another one where like I'm supposed to make a bag out of I think it's like 16 colors of the rainbow. It's like this really super like filled with colors and going through like this rainbow design. I absolutely love the notion of it, but I haven't figured out like what I'm going to really do with that one yet. Because if you saw like the tutorials where I was like showing that you can make various changes to that pattern, there's a lot of room for making it unusual and different and fun and exciting. And yeah, and I haven't figured out like how I want to do that one at all. There we go. And if you're really paying attention, you might notice like there's a hole right in the very center. And it doesn't have to be. It could have been a gray knot. But leaving it as a hole, I think, helps to add to that whole illusion that it's a granny square. So, yeah, I think it's kind of neat. It's like the little tiny details like that that can make something like this just so much more interesting. Oh no. I didn't turn one of the strings the right direction. Hang on. Where's my needle? Gotta back up just a little bit. Got a little. The green was supposed to go this way, and the orange was supposed to turn in. All right, so now we got to go in the right direction. It doesn't look bad. I kind of actually really like this color combination right here. Like the blue and red with this orange, just really somehow this, and maybe even the brown into it. Like all these colors in this one spot, just really, really working well together. This one had a lighter outside. These both had darker colors outside, and then this one goes back to the lighter. It's just a great set of contrast. Yeah, I think I can get the grays to change coming in. Hey, good morning. So how was your week, Tammy's? Did you have a good week? Yeah, this is really, I really like this square here. Sometimes when I get the colors just right. Awesome. Awesome. I have to say that my week hasn't been bad. I've gotten a lot done, although I'm working on more projects than one for me starts to make me get a little bit squirrely. I get a little bit anxious to get one or the other one done, so that way it's only one thing that I'm working on, so I can concentrate on only one thing. And the making courses, I just need this project to be over with, so that way I can get back to my videos and my daily grind. Okay, so that goes to there. All right. I feel like I could almost go longer with this, but at some point these grays have to go. Let me see what this side looks like. Yeah, this one's even shorter still. All right, fine. I replaced the grays. So back to the bobbins. Again, if you guys aren't familiar with how I change out string, there will be a good example. So I do half of the knot, and then a looped over nice long string over the one that's doesn't move. Bring that up in there, and I finish the knot. Whoop, that didn't quite go to script. Hang on. So once that's on there, this string can't go anywhere unless you pull only on one side. Now take the long one, tie half the knot, take the short one, go in between it, and tie. Take the short one out of the way, tie the long one, bring the short one in between. And by doing this a number of times, it makes it so when I cut it, that thing can't come unraveled, and makes it even machine washable, which is essentially, I think, the most awesome thing, because it just means I don't have to worry about this thing ever coming apart. And like, I don't know how many years the other bags and stuff my wife has been using, but it's been a long time, and they hold up great. And this is partly the reason why it holds up so well, is because all the strings are just kind of locked into place. They can't go anywhere. So, and now I can snip this one off. It's just a little scrap. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side here. So I'll get my first part of the knot started. And grab me another one of these. And I like getting the end really nice and even. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Captain Curvia? Kuvia. Captain Kuvia. Cool name. Thank you, by the way. Okay, so now that's looped on. I can finish the knot. And so now I have 2 strings here instead of just the one. So, Kuvira. Okay. Kuvira. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So yeah, just taking the short one and putting it in between the knots is just assuring that there's just no way that thing's ever going to accidentally come apart. In fact, it's actually challenging to take it apart if necessary. So there we go. So that's all done. Bring this down and then just 1 knot over the regular part. And so that way I don't have trouble later. I could leave this hanging out, but it looks like the other strings and stuff. So it'd be really easy to accidentally like add a row where it didn't belong. And that would be really troublesome. So yeah, we don't want that. All right, now we've finished these 2 and then this one. I need to work over on off to the side. So let's just rotate this thing around. And to take it off the board. And for anybody who's hasn't seen this whole thing, I've been doing this for so long. It's really okay. The pattern itself is a little bit complicated. But I've been doing a lot of things like this for a really, really long time. So it's not as bad as you might think it is. I mean, if you were just making friendship bracelets and then you tried something like this would be overwhelming. But I've made projects. I've got 3 pillows, like actual nice big throw pillows that sit on your couch. I have 3 of those that are made and a wall hanging that's 5 foot across. So yeah, some fairly crazy stuff. So now I need to change out the colors of this. Hang on a second here while I... Oh, come on. My music keeps trying to switch up on me and try to play out of my phone instead. There, so I can get all that string out of my way. So now I can see that this one's going to be red. This is green. This is orange and yellow here. So I'm looking ahead to what diamond will come out further down. I could easily go with this like light blue to a darker blue. This has got a light to dark. This is also a light to dark. This one's a dark to light. This is a light to dark. Yeah, I think that blue would do it. Oh, I just noticed this blue and this blue are really, really close to each other. So when I do it, I need to make sure that I don't have these 2 anywhere near each other because it'll just look too close. And yeah, not as good. Holy smoke, guys. You guys are blowing my mind. There has been 1,255 views over on the vertical stream here tonight. And there's like 16 of you guys still hanging out. Thank you guys very, very much. I realize that like this isn't exactly the best short content because it takes a while to actually make anything. But thank you for coming. That's awesome. All right. So now it's the light yellow over the light yellow. And then I introduce one of the light blues. And when you add the string on, because this string is going off to the left, the string I'm adding, this blue, will also go over to the left. And you'll see in a second here, when I do the next one, it'll be going to the right instead, because it's going to be the replacement to the string that's traveling. So there's the blue's been added on for there. And so now over this gray, I do half my knot, grab another light blue, undo this. No, that other person is my wife. My wife is watching in and offers insights and sometimes helps me look up things. There's times where we might refer to older videos or stuff, and she helps me with that stuff. Okay, so this is the dark one. This is the most inner. So the darkest one in this case would be this darker blue. It's a really nice blue. I think they call it the cornflower blue. Okay, so again, this is going up to the right again. And then the blue comes in through here, and this knot's over the top. Okay, put the blue back up here. And now this is the middle blue. Cool. Maybe this is more the cornflower. I wonder what makes the darker one then. Okay, so this one goes again over to the right hand side because the string itself isn't like doing the traveling to the left. So this goes off to the right hand side. Put this over here, and then I can tie this knot and secure it into place. I just give it a little tug just to kind of, it had a little loose end showing, and just a little tug on the string helps make that kind of just go away. Okay, now to help hold everything into place, I'll bring this gray row down over top of all of them. Just make sure that nothing kind of gets loosened up or ruined. And then I tie these knots a little bit extra tight because I'm going over two strings instead of just one. And I'm trying to hide that. I'm trying to make it as if nothing interesting has happened here at all. That's just normal business. We're just having normal strings. You don't see the magic of changing colors. And that's why this whole thing looks as intense as it does, because there's just so many colors in all different directions, right? Like this was like blues and browns up here, and then changes and becomes these oranges and stuff. So yeah, it's so now it's the same thing going to the right. So just all that stuff I was showing you, like where I had the string coming off to the right. Now instead it goes off to the left. So this is the light blue. Okay. So now going over top of the gray. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Captain. That was really sweet. Thank you so much. That's awesome. Wow. Okay, so now because this light blue is replacing the yellow we're tying, it's going to come over to the right because we're doing right-handed knots. And so it's got to keep going underneath as we do these other knots. So kind of pull it off to the side, tie my first part here, bring it over. This is the dark one. What are you talking about? He thought you were my student. Okay, so So I'm almost done with this diamond, which means I'll be able to start working on the green one here, which is cool. Oh, in case for anybody else who's new here, I'm actually making a bag. This is I know this looks like friendship bracelet knots, which it is, but I am making a handbag for my wife. And so far, it's turned out pretty cool. It's a little trickier trying to go over where there's two strings coming out. It's making sure that you get them lined up properly so that way you go over top of the both of them in the right order in the right place. But again, it's kind of the only way to do this and change out all the colors like I have. There we go. And now I can clip those 2 yellows. Cool. So now that those strings are replaced, which will be the further part down, I can work on the square next to it. It's like until one part's done, you can't get the other parts going. It's just one of the facts of how this whole thing works. So actually, there is a link in the description in case anybody's curious. It actually shows you the pattern and like how I set up the stuff. It's kind of from a while ago. It took a while for me to actually get this thing started. But nonetheless, it's all useful information if anybody else wants to give this a try. I don't recommend changing the colors every time, only because you just use so much more string doing it, and it's so much harder to do. But if you're, like me and think, challenge should be fun, by all means. Hopefully I set a good example and showed you how to do it. You will enjoy trying your hand at something intense. Oh, something's... How did... Hang on, we gotta back up some strings here. When I went over the gray, remember I was saying that you have to be careful that you get over the strings? One of the dark blues didn't end up over here, so I need to back up a couple knots. So yeah, this is exactly what I was warning about earlier. It's like maybe I was foreshadowing. There we go. There we go. Okay, back on track. So that's a really great green going up next to this kind of orangish yellow. We got a blue over here. Kind of looks like we made good choices. Seem to be struck by you. I won't make you because you're standing still. So again, going over 4 colors here, trying to make it look like the knot is the same size as just going over the one. And it looks cool. All right. I'm not sure how much we're going to get done tonight. I don't think it'll be the halfway around or anything crazy. We'll see. If you guys have any questions, you're welcome to ask. This really is a live stream. You know, I can actually reply. We've got like 10 people over on the vertical stream. Obviously, I'm going to guess these people are new to the channel because I think most of the people coming back would have gone to the horizontal stream because I'm streaming both vertically and horizontally at the same time. So, okay. So this one is replacing the blue with this pink. So I drop off the dark blue there. And bring the gray down up over top of these two. Okay, so the blue is coming out. It's the pink. So this time, obviously, I was a little bit more careful and made sure that I went around the corner like I was supposed to. So there we go. And then it's the blue that's getting dropped. So the first dark blues got eliminated right where those grays were, but this leaves us with these other three. There we go. Oh, it's almost puzzle time. It's like it actually is puzzle time. So people around the vertical, if you want to play with the puzzle game, come to the horizontal. I can't express this enough. It's way more fun when you get to play along as opposed to just watching. So hang on while I get my... Why is this... Nice work. Hang on, why is this window... There we go. I couldn't get the Sammy to open up there for a second. Hang on, ready, set.
Make
Yay!
it! Woohoo!
Well done, guys. That was awesome. Oh. Came back, forgot to put my glasses on. Hang on. Like, why is that look harder than to see now? Oh yeah. Whoa. Why 40 outfits? Is this a case of you're trying to like fit a mood perfectly kind of thing, or I don't get why? Okay. That one turns. Oh, excuse me. Oh. Suddenly my nose is like going crazy. I don't know what the heck that was about. All right, so now let me bring this gray up through here. So the vertical stream kind of nosedived during the puzzle game, but we're back to having 4 people there, so that's better. Still, it's yes, Joanne Fabrics after all these years giving it up. Though it seemed like for a little bit there they were really going to lean hard on internet sales, so that way they didn't have to concentrate on all the brick and mortar, which makes sense for them. But at the same time, they were a craft store. You kind of need to go in there and be inspired. Yeah, Joanne Fabrics was like one of my favorite stores to wander through and look at different things and just get crazy ideas and make stuff. Yeah, they were a long-standing tradition that's going to be sad to see them gone. Hey, hello, Malaysia. Our neighbors. I'm in Singapore. I like the fact that your name is actually hello. Joanne Fabrics is one of the places where so like they had a sale on embroidery floss. They were going to sell it for five for $1, and I'm like, oh hell yeah! So I went and I was like picking out like based on bracelet ideas or whatever, you know. So I'm like, okay, these 4 go together, these 6 go together, and I just got a ton of string, and in the checkout, they people were freaking out, like, because it was taking so long. They didn't have that many cashier things open, and I had a whole basket. I had like one of those the carrying baskets almost full of string. The receipt, because they had to ring up each skein, was about 13 foot long. Paid just over $100 for it. But the people in line behind me were like, help her, you know. I'm like, what can I do? Like, I'm just a dude, you know. And she's like scanning each and every one. Didn't matter if there's like hand her 3 blacks at a time. Like, nope. Beep, beep, beep. It's so bad. But yeah, we almost had a mob mentality behind me. Yeah, I wonder how much they reduced the string down to. I don't know what they were. I guess they're still Hobby Lobby, but the way those people, I don't know. I wouldn't shop there personally. I would order directly from DMC before I ever went into a Hobby Lobby personally. Nice. Nicely done. Yeah, I guess if your business is closing, you really don't care if they're going to lose a little money. Yeah. I don't think the word kinda needs to be in that sentence. Kinda gives them a little bit off the hook. Like maybe they might be, but no, they're evil. Where else? I guess I've heard that Walmart does embroidery floss, although I've never. Back when I was going to Walmart, I never saw embroidery floss there personally, so I can't confirm that one at all. Yeah, they just try to take a lot of their money and influence a lot of bad policy in the United States. So I'm surprised that they only have like, if you told me that their embroidery floss only came in grayscale so that people couldn't make rainbows, I would believe it. Well, their target audience is the affluent red hats. So, you know, not exactly a shocker. All right. Time to spin this thing again. We got to work on this blue one. Mind you, I haven't been in a Walmart in like maybe 14 years, 13, 14 years. Well, back when I was going to Walmart, I really don't remember a section for crafty stuff. All right. Oh, I got bobbins all over the place here. Hang on. Yeah. Yeah, I've never actually stepped foot in one, so I don't know. I've just only seen whatever things on YouTube or whatever. People going there getting all excited about various things. So we got brown, blue, red. I could go with this yellow to orange, although that is kind of not too similar and further away. I could go with this. Weird. Oh man. So I have a VPN and I can tell you that it's really weird because I've been using various locations and like the ads in England are so completely different from like there's a lot of like insurance ads in the US. England, there's a lot of England gets a lot of ads for like camping and going out, like staying places and stuff. I don't know. It's just really cool to see like the differences in what you get from the different locations. Yeah. Slightly tragic. Means probably somebody died. Yeah, I guess that's kind of a good view.
You've done that.
What's that?
Somebody donating because somebody died and gave you a whole bunch of string.
Yeah. Yeah, I was talking about that earlier. That was the stuff for our friend in Australia. But I turned around and made it gifts to the person where I got the string from. I made it so they had bracelets that they could remember their relative by. Right. Okay, so the lightest is in the middle. In this case, it'll be darker. Can you imagine when I pass away, somebody's going to inherit an airplane trolley full of string? Shoot. Yeah, so this was like really dark kind of blues. It's getting changed over to like these sort of grays and like off beige. I don't think it's too close to the beige one next to it, so we should be good. It must be like the spring season where I'm getting floss. Like we just ordered 1,500 skeins. So like, yeah. It's going to go with the other 1,100 or whatever I have. I've heard of spring cleaning, but spring hoarding is kind of new to me. This is the light. All right, the days are starting to get longer. I see where I live, the difference between the longest day and the shortest day is not even 30 minutes. So we don't really have that one here. Down, beating me down, down to the ground. Yeah, it should be coming around. It's like I said, for people that are further north, days are getting longer. Oh. Right. Uh, silly pupper. Cool. So now that that blue square is done, I can do the red square over here. Cool. It shouldn't go out of order. I don't know. There could be lag for sure, especially if there's been ads. I wonder where the Malaysian person went. They like came in, announced they were from Malaysia, and then disappeared. I'm surprised when I said I was from Singapore, there wasn't an instant talk about like whose food was better. And I can pick up my little pile of bobbins again. Well, considering everything that's going on in the U.S., I'm not admitting to being an American, so, you know. What? Mine? I got a good deal on these. What can I say? Hello. Crafts Bakery with Meave? Cool name. So you're over on the vertical stream. That's cool. We have two streams going, vertical and horizontal. And I have my chat going all to one so I can see it no matter what. So it took me a second there to figure out where you came from. Hello and welcome. I kind of always assume that anybody that's on the vertical has got to be new to the stream because most of our reoccurring guests all come to the horizontal just because it's you get to see more of the screen, you get to see more of the stuff in general. Okay, so now the yellow one gets discarded and we go with the blue. And the gray goes over this. There we go. Well, we've had there's been 1,888 views over on the vertical stream, which is amazing. That's a lot of people. Oh, thank you. So yeah, this is like a form of macrame, basically, but it's kind of based off the idea like what the knots were for friendship bracelets. Just a little bit more complex and a little bit harder to do. Hey, wow, welcome back. Hello. Doing good. Except for this pattern might be making me a little bit crazy, but other than that, I'm all good. Welcome back. Didn't you have a different name before? Did you change it, or am I just forgetting?
It's the same to me.
Is it the same? I don't know. Yeah? Okay. I'm ready for amazing news. I like amazing news. That could be a feature in our show. Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Wait, what's amazing news? Oh, sweet. Cool. What kind of business? Oh, cool. Nice work. It's good when a group of people can get together and do all that kind of stuff as a group. That's really cool. Beats the heck out of me trying to do my own web page, my own videos, my own all the stuff. Cool. Wait, that's a business? I've been being a friend for free. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. And I'm kidding. I don't want to get everybody all riled. It's funny you would say that because I'm going to be doing a class teaching how to make friendship bracelets for people who've never even tried before. And basically, I'm doing it for free. And worse than free, I'm actually going to be somewhat paying for it. Oh, it is 26 degrees out. Yeah. The person who set me up with the whole thing has showed me a path forward where I could do classes where I could earn money for it. But it's sort of like, I guess they're kind of saying like, maybe if after I do the free class, then I can do it for money. I don't know. The whole thing is just frustrating when I think about it. The whole what got me roped in was the idea that I was going to do this for money. Is this the light color? That's the blue. This is the light color. Yeah. Yeah. Well, so I'm limiting the course to I'm limiting the course to just basically the right knot and the left knot. That anything more advanced than that, they're either going to have to come to the YouTube and my webpage to learn, or somebody's going to have to pay me because I'm not doing it. Nice. That's, see, now when I learned how to do friendship bracelets, I was only taught how to do the candy stripe. The chevron came as an epiphany that if I tied the knot backwards, I could go the other direction. And then midway while doing the chevron, I realized that I could taper it downwards and then bring the chevron from the other direction, which I liked better. But that also helped me to turn it into like doing the dovetail came as a result. Yeah, I was only taught how to do the right knot. It was funny when I ran into the girl like a year later. When I ran into the girl that taught me about a year later, I was wearing a bracelet that was like 7 times the width of this. So just this massive thing. And yeah, she's like, "Hey, you know, there's more than just the one knot." Like, yeah, like showing off my stuff. I wish you could see my bags and stuff now because, like, definitely have gotten way more intensive with the things that I make since even back then. Oh. Yeah, the spirally things. I used to do that in people's hair because I would have like the totes full of string, and like they call it like a staircase or something, Chinese staircase or something staircase. And yeah, I used to make dreadlocks for people with string. I had, believe it or not, I wasn't always bald. I had a dreadlock with the string out of this little tuft of hair in the back, and I used to wrap it around and tuck it through to bring all my hair into a ponytail. So I never had to like carry like something to if I wanted my hair up. Is that what it's called? Yeah, yeah. Having a permanent hair tie that goes with you, awesome. Oh, oh. I have some old driver's license photos that might show some of that. They're pretty bad though. Yeah, Kevin in those days, he was a little messed up. I don't think I have any photos. Heck, my last passport photo from before this one, I looked like a terrorist. Yeah. I know exactly where one of these. I have a. I'm gonna get a photo. I have one that I know where it is. It's a blown up driver's license. Hang on, 2 seconds. I worked at a Kinko's, so I thought it'd be hilarious to have everything in my wallet blown up and laminated. Yeah, that's the dude that had dreadlocks. What do you guys think? Little frightening. Yeah. There's either lag or everybody's been stunned silent. Uh, yeah, I was a different guy back then. I think my follicles are all that really grew up, and they grew up and moved on, essentially. Uh, I'm not sure it was really rocker wannabe, but I was full of myself. Tell you what. So my goal here tonight was to like maybe get halfway around. I think I've done it. There's 4 empty slots in the thing. That's halfway, I guess. Like I might even get a little bit further than halfway. That's kind of cool. Whoa. I just looked over and noticed our vertical stream is now crossed over into the 1900s. We have 1,909 views so far this evening. Really justifies making the extra effort to have both streams going. That's a lot of people to see. Hang on, let me see what we got for subs. Only 5 subs though. That's kind of wild. Good point. Yeah. That would freak me out. Well, people coming to see what I made is 1,912. Somebody hit the love thing. I see little hearts going up on the chat. I didn't know it did that. That was really cool. Thank you, whoever just did that. Okay, so I'm going to rotate this around again. So we got some greens and blue, purple over here. Browns here. I don't know. This picture is just getting painted weirder and weirder. Starting to get scared. On bracelet book, right? Okay, there. The basic part of the pattern is the pattern that inspired this is probably both on bracelet book and friendshipbracelets.net. In fact, I'm pretty sure I got it from friendshipbracelets.net. It was one set of colors. It doesn't change. It doesn't do whatever. What the pattern number is, I don't know. But I have like a, hang on. Is the page that I have linked to it? Hang on, see if I can get to. Where's the? Huh. Okay, I don't have the link handy, so give me a second here while I try to pull it up. Give me a second. I'm going to see if I can find the pattern for you. I feel like I should be able to recognize this one immediately. Hang on. I've got a search function based on the bracelet or the pattern designs. Where? Okay. Oh, got it. So it was a blindsided creation. What? Just to see what pattern it was. Hang on. Oh, this is the remake. That's why. Hang on. Won't let me use the search function off the webpage. Yeah, so it's Blindsided Creations 23. That's where I think I first did the pattern. It should say in the video. I'm surprised it doesn't say in the description, but it should say in the video where it came to. My pattern's in there, but where it came from isn't. Where? Yeah, that was from April of 2024. So, but it says it was a remake. Oh, because the original was smaller. That's why I didn't see the pattern. Hang on. Got it. Hang on, I might have actually found it. Yeah, so bracelet book pattern 13803. It's only half of the size of this. That's why. So then when I doubled the pattern, I got the more of the granny square look, and then I ran with that. So yeah, but it was, the whole thing was inspired by pattern 13803. So we got greens, we got browns, and we got pinks. We got purples over here. I could do this yellows and orange. I guess that works. Actually, it's almost 1 a.m. so maybe we cut it off here so that way I don't have to like be halfway in the middle of a project when I start up again next week. And we're halfway through, so yeah, it kind of makes sense to stop here. I'm not sure who had asked the question. And let me minus this down. Who asked for the pattern number? Hopefully they stuck around and got it. So MIU, IRU, whatever your name was, hopefully you got the pattern. I'm sorry it took me so long to find it, but yeah, it was made quite a while ago. Like that was, let's see, when I did the challenge was April 17th of 2024. And the pattern itself is really small. So it was not, it's nothing quite like this. When I doubled the pattern, that's when the squares really started to be a thing, and I thought it was pretty amazing. So hopefully that helps you. I have both the original and the doubled size, so depending on what you're hoping to get out of the pattern, there's 2 different tutorials complete with my own patterns. So let's see, before I go, I do want to thank my YouTube members who make all of this stuff possible. Without their help, I wouldn't have been able to buy the 1,500 skeins of floss that I need to basically keep this thing going. So thank you guys so very much for that. You know, to the new people, I do videos daily, you know, throughout the week, weekends off. Yeah, it's members hangout day tomorrow. And yeah, so if you're a YouTube member, you get to hang out with me over on Discord. We show off our works and talk about cool stuff. And sometimes they actually give me some help on deciding what kind of directions we're going to go in. So yeah, it should be a lot of fun. We'll be back again next week. I will work on the rest of this row here. And then there'll be only one more row after that. So. Yeah. So yeah, thanks everybody for everything. And yeah, I guess that's it for now. So thanks for everything, and don't get your strings in a bunch.